I'm Gary Venner, CEO of IFA Acquisitions, and I'm joined by Gemma Irvine, who's the HR lead and director of HR People Support, who run trusted outsourced HR partner support, where we continue our informative question and answer series on our YouTube channel to provide insights into helping buyers and sellers understand the benefits of using HR specialists for the buying and selling of IFA businesses for sound HR advice. The title of the next video is coming up on the screen now. Gemma, staffing issues can sometimes be really time consuming for a business owner and often needing really expert help. What would you say are the options for a business owner to make sure that they have an ability to tap into HR support for their business?
I would say HR support is really important, and from kind of many clients, it doesn't matter what business you are, whether you're IFAs or whether you're in a different industry. As an employer, you have obligations to meet when you're employing people. At some stage, all employers are going to need HR, and really it's about being aware of your obligations as an employer, but also considering what the best options are for you. An employer might not have the need for a fixed cost HR person in-house.
Yeah.
And they might not have the consistency of the HR need that would support. However, there are alternative options available. I would suggest looking at outsourced HR. Outsourced HR can support your business in a more flexible way to suit your budget, and whether that's on a pay-as-you-go basis, kind of you have that peace of mind to just kind of pick up the phone and you've got that advice on the end of the line at any point when you might need it. Alternatively, you might have kind of a retained support mechanism in place. So you might pay a monthly fee and you get the kind of the added value, the best practice, the kind of the regular checkups, where an HR consultant will really be able to understand your business, be able to provide you with advice around your employees, but they know your teams and your managers and kind of your industry, so they can really advise properly and give you the best outcomes for whatever HR needs you have. We can also kind of provide you with that proactive strategic overview of kind of where you want to go, where you want to take the business to support your business goals.
Yeah, that sounds fantastic, and I'm assuming also you have that sort of library of templates as well. You know, want to employ a new member of staff, and of course the employment law changes all the time, doesn't it? So it's really important that you don't just use one that you've always used. It's just make sure it is bang up to date and that it's relevant and suitable.
Yeah, absolutely. There are always changes that are taking place, and we kind of pride ourselves in keeping ourselves up to date and being accurate on our advice. We regularly review our suite of templates and documents. So if there's anything you need guaranteed, we'll have it. So it's kind of really important to us that we have those documents available for all our clients.
Sure, and I mean most employment contracts refer to a staff handbook, you know, so it's not all included in the contract, but putting together a staff handbook can be literally a nightmare. So do you get involved in putting together staff handbooks?
Absolutely. I mean, a staff handbook is quite a daunting task when you're starting from scratch. We support all our clients with a kind of a handbook template, and then we will tailor it specifically to their business, because different businesses will need different policies. So for IFAs, they're going to need the kind of the basic employment policies that you have in place, GDPR, health and safety, equal ops, discipline and grievance, but they're also going to have the FCA regulatory policies that you need in place. So from a fit and proper perspective, we can tailor those policies and make sure that across recruitment, across appraisals, performance management, the leaver process, you bring all those fit and proper assessment criteria into play, and you're kind of making sure that you're covered from an employment perspective, but also from an FCA perspective as well. Handbooks are so important because they really give the new and existing staff the understanding of the business as a whole.
Yeah.
So they are going to portray the culture of the business, what access to benefits they might have, your code of conduct, your standard of expectations, what the business is going to provide for you, as well as all your kind of your entitlements, your statutory entitlements and your enhanced entitlements. So the handbook is really a kind of a one place that employees can go to where they can get all the information, and it might be that it signposts to other documents, the policy documents which sit outside that get updated on a regular basis.
And I think it's equally important for the employer as well, because it gives the framework. It's the expectation, isn't it, of what staff should be following, and if they fail to follow that, then we can refer back to the handbook and then put in an appropriate training development program, or whether we follow a disciplinary process as well.
Yeah, absolutely. That framework is vital for consistency and for managers to know what to do in certain situations. So if there's a kind of a potential misconduct, or if there's a grievance that comes in, it doesn't matter which manager is managing that process. They're aware of the company processes and how they should be dealing with it. You're going to possibly need HR advice and guidance through those processes, but it's imperative that the managers have that framework to be able to manage consistently.
So Gemma, what are the typical HR issues that you seem to be sort of seeing regularly at the moment?
So from a TUPE perspective, obviously we're kind of looking at contractual changes. We're looking at kind of the difficulties around bonus and commission structures. We're looking at kind of the challenges around hybrid working and what that means from a contractual place of work,
Sure.
whether that's changed contractually or whether it's a potential implied change. Because of the kind of the culture shift away from office working to hybrid working or remote working. So they're the kind of specifically TUPE issues that we're facing. I mean, even outside of TUPE, we're seeing a lot of conversations around hybrid working, but really it's kind of drilling down to recruitment, retention and engagement. The recruitment market is very challenging, as I'm sure you're aware.
I think we do.
It's really important that therefore businesses are looking at their retention engagement strategies, because actually losing staff at the moment is a real cost to the business.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right, and I think it shows that it's a real well-run business that has considered all the policies and what's available for staff in benefits as well. So Gemma, what would your advice be to a retiring IFA thinking of selling a business where they have staff? What things should they be considering and when?
I think at the point of thinking about selling the business, when you're thinking about your exit strategy, it's vital that you think about the data that you hold, because that is going to be important from an acquiring business perspective. So the data that you hold now, kind of what information do you hold on your employees? If you need to pull off sickness reports, if you need to pull off holiday, how much holiday people have, if you need to provide information on claims or disciplinary processes or grievance processes, how are you going to collect that information? How do you hold it now? So if you can put in place mechanisms, systems to collect that data for you, it will make the rest of the process so much easier, because collating that information and putting it into an ELI format will support your transfer process going forward. And it's not just about the data and kind of how you can collate it, it's also about how you transfer it securely from a GDPR perspective.
Yeah, of course. Very important that it's kept confidential, clearly.
Yeah, absolutely. So I would be concentrating on data. I would also be looking at kind of the setups of your business, so kind of what contracts you've got in place, what documents you've got in place, job descriptions, appraisal forms, handbooks, policies. All that information is going to be vital for a smooth transfer in the future.